Now, go ahead, Brad. Now, Brad, hopefully, is going to make you giggle a little bit. Brad is going to be doing a little bit of comedy for us. So first of all, Brad, where are you from?
Vermont.
Vermont! Very nice. And how long have you been a comedian for?
I just started.
Well, you've got them laughing already. So I think we can move on.
I'm ready to rock.
Are you ready to rock?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Brad.
Very difficult acts to follow. They were terrific. Just by a couple of words more of introduction, my name is Brad. I was raised in central New York, Auburn, New York, if any of you are aware of that. And very good. And after college, I ended up in Rochester, New York, where I practiced law for 25 years, until I gave it up, walked away, did the Bob Newhart thing, opened up a country inn in Vermont, and that's where I still am. Since then, I've referred to myself as a recovering lawyer. And I've been recovering for over 20 years. So when they asked me before if I'd ever done stand-up comedy before, I said, no, I haven't, but a lot of judges have laughed at me for more than 2 decades. Being an innkeeper is a wonderful thing in Vermont, and probably anywhere. You do get some unusual things. Remember Art Linkletter, kids say the darndest things? Well, guests say the darndest things too. One guest actually came up to me and said, how old does a deer have to be before it becomes a moose? Well, at the age of 6, on my birthday, out there in the woods. Another guest said to me, it's true, what do they do at the ski slopes with the man-made snow after the natural snow melts? Well, there's this big hose, and they take it around and they vacuum it all up and all that. And you get some interesting guests as well. We had a guest a number of years ago who had been in the cemetery and had thought about becoming a monk, and he told me the story about Brother John. And Brother John decided he was going to join one of these monasteries of the silent. And he had his final interview with the head monk, and the monk reminded him that you may not talk at all. But after 5 years, you can come in and you can say 2 words. So at the end of 5 years, the head monk brought him in and said, Brother John, you may now say 2 words. And he said, hard bed. I am so sorry, I wasn't aware of that. You have my apologies, we will take care of it, no problem. At the end of 10 years, he brought him back again. Said, Brother John, you may now say 2 words. Brother John said, cold food. You have my apologies, believe me, we will take care of it, I promise you. At the end of another 5 years, he brought him in, he said, Brother John, you've now been here for 15 years, you may say 2 words. Brother John said, I quit. And the head monk said, why am I not surprised? You've done nothing but bitch and moan since you got here. Well, Vermont is a great place, as the people here from Vermont will tell you. You know about Daryl and his brother Daryl and his other brother Daryl, and you've heard the talk of the characteristics of Vermont, Vermonters who, they don't want to use 20 words to say something when they can say 6. And of course, that's very difficult for an attorney to do, but we do it. Calvin Coolidge, known as Silent Cal, was born and raised in Vermont, and was very quiet, but he also had a sense of humor. One day a female reporter came to him and said, Mr. President, I have a bet with another journalist that I can make you say more than 2 words. He looked at her and said, you lose. Now, is anyone out here a duck hunter? Do we have any duck hunters here? Well, if you did, you would really appreciate this. You'll appreciate it anyhow. Former Vermont Governor Tom Salmon, who was quite a storyteller, tells the story about some duck hunters who came to Vermont. They got to the lodge and they realized they had forgotten to reserve a dog. So they said, do you have any dogs available for the hunt? And he said, no, I don't. Well, I've got this one dog who just graduated, just finished his training. He's young, he's inexperienced. We think he's going to be a great dog. You can have him. We'll rent him to you for $50 for the week. And they said, fine. At the end of the week, they bring him back and they said, you were right, he was very good. What's his name, by the way? Oh, his name is Lawyer. You know where this is going. So, a year later they called and they said, we'd like to reserve Lawyer. How much will he be? $150. Really? $150? Well, he's got another year of experience. He's really a good dog. You'll be pleased. They rented him. They brought him back. Sure enough, they had nothing but good things to say about him. A year later, they called again and said, we'd like to rent Lawyer. How much is he going to be this year? $250. $250. He's the best dog we've got. Believe me, it's well worth it. So they rented him and they brought him back and they said, absolutely, he's a wonderful dog. A year later, they called again. And they said, boy, we don't even want to know how much is it going to be to rent Lawyer this year? $50. $50? I don't understand. What do you mean? Well, I'll tell you the truth. He was the best dog we ever had. First he was $50, then it was $150, then it was $250. But a few weeks ago, some guys came and they took him out and they must have forgotten his name. They started calling him Judge. Judge this, Judge that, way to go, Judge, or great Judge. Now all he does is sit on his ass and bark.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Brad! Take him on. One more time, ladies and gentlemen. The lovely Brad. He had us in stitches around ourselves. Now, I will tell you the